Hello, happy Monday. This is week 2 of the Daily Creative Challenge with me, your host, Elise Laborn. Hey, everyone in the chat. Good to see you guys. Is Brandon Gross in the house? Hey, we're always crossing paths. Thank you so much for your support in here. We got Laura and Unicorn and Masayu and Sam. And hello, everyone. I'm excited to do week number 2 with you guys because it's my birthday week. I honestly celebrate the whole month of September for my birthday, but it gets more and more special as it gets close. So you'll see my excitement really start to pop up and get maybe a little crazy this week. Who knows? Hi, Rosemary. Hi, Richard. Good to see you guys. So we are giving you guys design challenges every single day. You guys did them last week. We've got some this week. And I've been giving myself a challenge every single day while I'm live. Last week I was singing, obviously, because that's what I do. I was doing some dancing. And today my challenge or my live challenge is going to be around roommate storytelling, because today we're going to be designing a roommate profile experience. And I feel like typically people have bad things to say about roommates, but I'm going to give a lot of roommate love. Maybe you guys have some roommate love you can give in the chat today too. Any good experiences you've had in the past? Thank you guys. My actual birthday is going to be Wednesday, so 2 more live streams from now. You'll see me in my full birthday self. Not my birthday suit, my full birthday self. All right, so this is the Daily Creative Challenge landing page. Here is the link, behance.net/challenge/XD. The big blue button is where you can enroll for the challenge if you haven't yet. And the challenge started last week, but you can start at any point. No worries. You don't need to start from week 1, day 1. Now, if this is like your first time using Adobe or XD, you may want to at least watch that first stream. You can re-watch it just down below here. You can watch the video, download the file, and just get more comfortable with XD. And otherwise, we are going to be streaming the first 2 weeks, the following 2 weeks. So this actual challenge goes from September 20th to October 15th. So you have 4 weeks to complete all of your challenges. Now, here's where you're finding your challenge. You can watch the video, you can download the XD file, and you can get into Discord from here. So, in Discord, in the challenge channel, this is where you're going to be uploading your challenges, getting feedback, getting mentorship, getting guidance, getting love, giving love maybe. Give some props to other people. You can ask questions, get some tips and tricks, etc. But let's look at some of the designs from last Friday. We had that presentation design, and we have one here from Abernil. I'm already loving the look of this. Okay. These were templates, but you can make them more your own. And what I like is that this feels like they were able to really personalize and make it more their own and add all these cool animations. If you weren't here last Friday, you guys might be wondering, well, why are we doing presentations? And I talked about how UX, UI designers have to constantly be presenting their work, their design decisions to stakeholders, to other designers. So it's really nice to have this XD presentation plugin that just makes our life that much easier by making these really beautiful presentations. We have Ilham as well. Look at these nice designs. Ooh, okay, cool. They're using the template, but they put in all of their own animations into it. So this is looking nice. Messiah's like, roommate, my introverted soul would be like, dot, dot, dot. Yeah, actually, I had an introverted roommate, and it was totally fine. She just kind of kept to herself, but we got on really well. So this is just really cool design here with this presentation. I'm loving the transitions, the movement. There's a lot actually for other people to learn from here. So I would check this project out. All right, props to our friends that have uploaded here. If you want to see your work uploaded here for me to give props to, you're just going to click share your work, project, upload all your beautiful images, videos, text for your project. And you're going to select settings over here on the right hand side and use the project tagline XD Creative Challenge so that I can find your designs and again give you those props, give you that love. Anyone having any roommate stories yet? No no good roommate love stories. I have one time last Christmas. My roommate had us all all create those paper snowflakes, and we just like decked the whole house in it, and it was like hard to walk through, but it was like a winter wonderland in our house. Thanks to my roommate Melissa. Here is the challenge number 5, Daily Creative Challenge. We're designing a roommate matching experience with Drag Gestures and Auto-Animate. Here are some examples of some other designers, some inspiration on Behance, but this is what we're going to be designing today. If I play this guy, I'm dragging this over here. We got this nice little transition. Let's get designing, guys. The actual design of this is pretty clean and easy, which is nice, right? I'm going to start with an artboard like so. And I am going to I have put like a really faint gradient from a white to like an off-white on here in the back. And then I'm going to add an image. So here, I'm just drawing in a rectangle, and I'm going to drag in the corners so that I can pull in my image. From here, I'm going to be using the plugins, the plugin free stock search. And I just searched woman to find some options for people that I can place into my rectangle here. Just gonna make her a little bit bigger. Doesn't she seem like a nice, fun roommate? I also included this background circle gradient. I'm gonna pop that in here. We talked about gradients last week. Do you guys, any of you who were there, remember any of the rules around gradients we covered? If not, that's okay. But we talked about some UI gradient best practices. Here I have a circle, a big old circle, and I'm just going to place in this gradient. That looks nice. I'm going to put the image on top just for like something that's a little bit more interesting on the screen than just having a white background. And one of the rules about gradients was that you just don't want to use it too heavily. I wouldn't want the whole background. It might be a little overwhelming. If I did something like this, it kind of makes the image almost hard to pay attention to, right? It's competing with the background. So that's why we try to use them sparingly when we do. All right, so from here, I'm just gonna grab this text and place it in here. There is a little trick, I guess, I want to share with you for text. If I select the text tool, third one from the bottom, and I just start typing, this is how I used to do it. And if you just keep continuously typing and you wanted to maybe make the sentence a bit longer or anything like that, it's just going off of the screen, right? But if we wanted to make sure that it wasn't just going off the screen, that it was staying within inside the artboard, the other option that we can do is click text, right? Same thing, But instead of just typing away, I'm gonna actually make a little rectangle almost. Like these are the constraints. This is where I want my text to land in the artboard. So when I start typing, it's actually gonna go into that second row. So this is really helpful for you if you wanna like avoid having to constantly try to put all of your text back onto the artboard. All right. Sergio wants to work at Chico Inc. I cannot come up with the best names, I think, but if you think that's a good name, then I feel good about myself today. We also have Cornell saying, is this like roommate Tinder? Kind of, right? You like the look of her. You're like, she looks like a smiley, happy person. I think I'm gonna swipe left. Yes, on this girl. Then I'm just gonna grab my components, these buttons I've created. I got that gradient going on again. And I'm gonna just center this in the screen. And then from here, I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's start creating that second screen so we can create animations. Really simple screen design. If this is your first time designing, I highly recommend trying this design out and putting your own flair into it because it's quite simple. If you're ready to move on to animations, I'm gonna make a second version of this screen and I'm gonna find a new person to be the next roommate. I'm gonna add her in. And again, this is from my plugin Free Stock Search that I'm able to just apply these images into my shapes. And from here, what I'm gonna do is I wanna create this initial drag. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. I'm dragging this image and you're seeing that a new one is coming in, right? In slow motion. So I actually want this image to be on top of this artboard already. And I'll show you kind of what I mean here. First things first is I need to make sure these are labeled differently. So I'm gonna label this one woman 1, this layer, and I'm gonna label this layer woman 2 so that those don't get confused when I start doing auto-animate. If they're labeled the same, then the auto-animate is not gonna realize that these are two different things. If they have the same layer name, it thinks that these are the same images. So it's not gonna really have a nice transition to it. So I made these different layer names and then I'm copying woman number 2 onto woman number 1. And I'm just going to have her on the side of this artboard. It has to touch the artboard. Number 1 rule here, it needs to touch the artboard in order for this artboard to understand that this is an image or this is a layer that belongs to it. Okay, so everything has to touch at least a little bit, but I'm gonna turn the appearance completely off so that when we go into this screen, it's gonna slide in. So let's start just creating that prototype first. Selecting this image, woman number 1, I'm in prototype mode. It has this little blue arrow. It's like, where do you want me to go? And I'm gonna drag it over to this second artboard. And the trigger here we're playing around with is drag instead of tap. This is really only used for mobile, right? When we're dragging our finger across the screen. So that's the interaction we're mimicking. And when you prototype this, you can prototype it on your phone and actually use that drag feature and see how it feels. So let's just do that. I have the action type as auto-animate. Let's play that. Okay, so we're seeing her come in. Hey, there she is. Nice. We have Solomon asking, how do I get inspired with colors? Good question. I actually put into the Discord channel in the tips and tricks some areas for gradients. There's some certain sites that are really good to get some inspiration from. I also use another site called Coolers, and one of my other biggest inspirations is just looking at Behance and Dribbble at other people's designs, and I get a feel like, ooh, what are these colors they're using, and how can I apply that and put my own twist on it? So I really get inspiration from other designs. So from here, We have that like decent transition. And if this is all you want to do, great. But if we want to get on to the next phase, add a little bit more flair, let's go ahead and do that. So I want this card to kind of, I'll show you the slow motion. You're going to see this first card kind of slowly tilt and rotate as she's going off the screen, right? So that's what we're going to create now. I'm going to go back into design mode, grab this first card, paste it here now. Oops, paste it onto this artboard. But I want in this screen for her to, I'm gonna just grab the side and twist and rotate it. I want her to like rotate off the screen for those Tinder vibes. And again, make sure it's still on the screen. The layer is still there, but I'm turning off the appearance. Now, when I play it, let's see how that feels. Oh, she's moving, she's disappearing, and yeah, feels good. We're just missing one last piece here. If you recall in this design, in my example, you're gonna see this little like X on the left side here sort of appear. This is really just helping out the user, because the user may have forgotten if drag left or drag right means that it means no, I don't want her as a roommate. Or if you drag right, maybe we would also have a little heart to indicate that you do or you are interested in her as a roommate. So it's just like a helpful reminder so that they can always just let go and not take that action. So that's kind of a UX reason for why we would include this little cross. So let's create it. It's kind of coming up here, but it goes away once you've made that decision. Cornell says, sayonara, woman number one, sayonara. My mom is Japanese, so I love when anyone uses anything related to the Japanese language. Here I'm going to place that X. Let's play it from here and see what happens. So it's appeared, but then when I let go, it's still there. I don't want it there. What do I do to change that? Well, I'm going to make another version of this screen. And in this screen, I am going to have this little circle go to the left and disappear. I need to make sure again that the layers are the same name so that it knows that, okay, this is the circle that's supposed to be moving. So, or this is the layer. So I'm going to make sure this over here on the left side in my layers panel is titled component 2-2. In this one, it's labeled component 2-3. So if I do that, it's not going to work. I need to make sure that they're both labeled the same. Now the difference here is I need to change the prototype animation. I'm no longer needing it to drag. I'm going to be using actually a time transition. Now here's a big note. Make sure the whole artboard is selected when you're going to do a timed transition. This is one of the biggest things where people have challenges with those time transition. Make sure it's fully selected, and then with that little blue arrow, you're gonna drag it over to this right artboard over here, and the trigger is going to be time. Time. I owe you guys a little roommate story. One time, I'm just looking at my notes because I was like, what did I learn from my roommates? Actually, one of the things I liked about my roommate was that one of them used to always put fresh flowers in the kitchen, something I would never do, but I think of as like a really sweet thing for the whole house. I appreciate that about my roommate. Roommate love story, roommate love story. Do you guys have any roommate love stories? So here I have that timed transition, and let's see what happens. Oh, so it came up, but then it disappeared, right? So I have time as the trigger, auto-animate as the action, and I have the duration to 0.1. So it's really quick. Let's see how it goes again. So I'm going to drag it over. That X comes in and then it goes away. Looking at the original, let's see how it feels. Yeah, it's about the same. What do you guys think of it? Simple transitions. Is there any questions you have? Any challenges that you foresee when you do your own designs when you're looking at this transition? Cornell's like, I'd love to go to Japan one day, and I will. I bet you will. And I have been to Japan, and I loved it, and I can't wait to go because it's been quite a few years. So hopefully one day soon. Here we have that transition, but now when we're ready to share this into the Discord channel, you have a couple options. You can go ahead and play your prototype and record it like so. And then you can stop that recording and save it as an MP4, and that's what you can upload as a video. Option number 2, you can also just select all of, let's go into design mode, select all of your artboards, and you can export them as PNGs. So you can select those and export them. Third option is with these 3 artboards selected, I can click this little share button and it's going to create a link that I can share with others. And this link actually allows other people to give me feedback. So if you want to send it to anyone, mentors or other friends, other team members for feedback, you can do that. So this link is also something you can share within Discord as well. So some options for you to share in Discord as well as on the Behance site to get props, right? Yay. Rosemary, what did you love? What did you live? What did you love about Japan? One of my favorite things was honestly breakfast. They give you like a big fat, like thick white piece of toast with butter and honey and some tea in the morning. And it's so, like the baked goods are so delicious, and a lot of people don't know how Japan is really well known for their bakery. So I highly recommend for you to try it out, especially if you even have a Japanese bakery nearby you can visit. That'd be fun. All right, guys, so we've got a ton of animations we've been doing last week and today, kind of getting you really comfortable with animations. And I see Kerwin says that he could have used this app in his 20s. Wouldn't that have been nice, making roommate matching that much easier? I would have loved it as well. Yeah, so also I've got challenges that I've been giving myself every day, and I'm going to ask you guys if you have any recommendations for me. I've been giving you design challenges. Do you have any live stream challenges for me? Like I tried to avoid saying ums, and if I say it I owe a dance. I did some syncing. If I say a certain word, I have to sing it. Would love for you guys think about it. If there's anything in the next few days that you want to offer me as a live challenge, I'm happy to do so. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining. Good to see you, Rosemary, Chris, Cornell, and Unicorn, Laura. Really good to see you guys. And I can't wait to see you for tomorrow's session and see all the great designs that you guys do. Bye.